everybody. How's everyone doing? All right, you guys, so we're going to start painting. Our goal today, I've got an 8x10 canvas. Hello to my live audience. Hey, Nikki UK, Smudger. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, there goes a notification. All right, you guys, I use the Heavy Body Liquitex, and this is the black. I'm just going to put it on my palette. We're going to kind of build our palette to start with. And I don't know how much black I'm going to use. So we're just going to put a little spoonful there. Now the goal today is only the sky. Okay, only the sky. And I want like this beautiful glowing sky. Hey Carla, good to see you. Good to see you all. All right, so we've got our black. Let me wipe that off. And what I want to do is I want like a sunset. Now I'm only showing you about 3/4 of the board because that's all we're going to work on today. I don't care about the rest of what we're going to do. I do have an idea. Now also, I've got white, which I've mixed water with in a little jar. And that's just to make it a lot more flowing, and I use that as my gesso, but I apply that a little bit different than other artists, so you can see what way you like. Maybe you like my way, maybe you like somebody else's way. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to be telling you about the storm I had last night. I ended up having to call 911. I kid you not. It was crazy. Everybody's fine, but that being said, it was very scary. All right, so let me see where I've got some white. Where did I put my tube of white? Y'all, I lost my tube of white. Hold on. I throw it all in a big a big container, and then I gotta dig for it. But you know, artists are messy. We've got titanium white here. Now I use the Heavy Body Acrylic Latex, or Liquitex Heavy Body Acrylic. That's what I like to use. I'll check the lighting here. If it's not good enough, I can fix it. See, where do I want to put my white? I think I'll put it on the opposite side. And I don't know how much we're going to need. So we're going to put a little dollop out there. We're going to set it just like this. And the first colors that I want to work with are actually going to be a yellow. I want a golden yellow, but I also want, yeah, let's go golden yellow. So we're going to use Indian yellow. Okay, so let's see, where are you? There you are. I think we're going to use quite a bit of that for mixing and blending. I almost feel like we'll put a little bit more because that's going to be a lot of mixing and blending. I may have put too much. I did have a storm. Oh my gosh, you guys. It was something else. I saw an actual tornado. The tree caught on fire. It was black as night in places. It was bad. All right, we're gonna have to have some orange, and I feel like we could make it, but you guys, I do have a tube of orange. Whoa, I do. I have a tube of orange. I keep saying that, but I know I do. I have a tube of cadmium orange. Let me get it open for us. We'll put that right there. We're just building our... Carla has storms right now. It's storming right now, Carla. Oh, I hope you stay safe. I truly, truly do. All right, now let's use this. Let's use this crimson. I don't know how to say that. Naphthol. We're going to use this crimson. Now these are our warm colors on this side, but I also want a light yellow. So we'll have to put it on the other side of the white. I've got cadmium-free yellow light. And we'll just add that right there. Okay. Now, we're going to want a purple part of this sunset. At least I do. So we're going to be adding dioxazine purple. We'll put that right there. But I also am going to be using a blue, if I can find it. Okay. And this is phthalo blue. It's on the green shade. I wonder if I have phthalo blue on the blue side. Let me just double check, you guys. I think that would be better for us. I don't want the sky to have a green flavor to it. I want this to be a pleasant sunset. So I've got ultramarine, cobalt blue, cerulean. Brilliant. Come on. We may have to just go with this, and then I'll have to order myself some at a different time. Let me see if the other one is the same. Yeah, they're both green shade. That's okay. It'll work. That's what we're going to use, so it may do us in. It may not be the greatest. I may be out of it. Oh, there it goes. Okay, we can throw that away. I've got another tube, so don't fret. Now, feel free at any time to pause the video and play catch up if I'm going too fast, but I know you guys are probably like, you're going so slow. Oh, good grief, sounds like a scene from a scary movie. How scary. It's a stormy night now. Well, you guys, it got terrifying last night. So Quentin and I, it started to hail, okay? We don't get hail. It came down in literal sheets of hail. Now I'm putting my burnt sienna up here, which is that really nice, rich, dark brown. And I'm going to add burnt umber because I often mix that with blue to get a really pretty gray. So it hailed forever. Storm was really rough. And I thought, okay, wow, that was something else. Well, he decides the storm's over and I do too. We're like, well, that must have been the most, you know. That's where we're at. But there was still something weird about the sky. It wasn't clearing up. You couldn't really see anything. It was just kind of hazy out. And fog started rolling in. And I was like, what in the world? Hail, then fog? This is weird. Well, you ever see fog following hail? Let it be known that that means something very, very strong is coming. And yeah, so it got really, really windy, really, really scary. And in that, I saw the power line starting to weave like this. And as I was running to the basement, I saw at my window, it connected to the tree. And fire and sparks flew up. And so I leaned out closer to the window real quick to see if it was caught fire. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to call 911. Now I'm just adding what I call gesso, which is my heavy body white. But I've added water to it. So I just want to cover the entire sky. But as we do this, because this is going to take a second, I'll tell you what happened. So I lean way far close to the window to see this branch that I'm thinking, you know, because I saw fire, not just like zzz, but flame. And I was like, OMG. Well, as I looked out to see that, I saw, and if you've ever seen a tornado in real life, or if you've been around tornadic weather, you might know that sometimes they appear to be white, like I'm talking as white as the canvas, until they hit something, or they can be invisible. Well, I looked up and there was a ribbon, like if this was my whole sky, there was a ribbon that covered the entire sky in full rotation. And it was super thin and it was whipping. And I'm already on the phone to 911 because a tree is still sizzling. And I'm like almost hysterical at this point. That poor 911 call, dispatch lady, but she was just as, serious as I was. She's like, okay, are you safe? I'm like, I'm getting in my basement. She's like, we gotta go. We gotta blow whistles. I'm like, yeah. I just called and I was like, Owen Withy is getting slammed. She's like, your address. I told her my address and I said, my tree just caught fire. She's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, I know. And this is the 911 lady. I'm like, you need to take cover. It's coming. I said, and the towns after us are going to get hit harder because the tornado did not hit here. It went over my head. And she's like, okay. Well, then I got real quick about calling my people. Quentin was at home and he lives on like almost the third floor. I say that because his floor is so high. Like you have to really climb some serious stairs to get up to him, even though he's on the second floor. I was frantic, you guys. So that was my story. Wasn't that scary? All right, you guys. So we want to keep going while this is wet. In fact, we're going to leave the lid off this and we're going to put another little deal about it, another coat on it. But what we're going to do now is I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to wet it and I'm going to set my brush aside. Now I happen to have one of those, well, I'll try to show you without spilling. See how I can set my brush in here and yet my water's here? And I'll have to show you that little thing I got from Amazon because I am in love with it. But we'll come back to this white in just a jiff. In the meantime, let's go to our palette and let's mix up a color. Now I want it to be very golden. So let's take a little bit of this golden. And I told you the colors before we started, so please don't ask me what kind of yellow. Just go back to the beginning because I'm just going to call them golden yellow. I think this is Indian yellow, but I'm not that great with naming them. I don't have it memorized. I don't care. I should because I want you to be able to do it, but pick a yellow that you like. Pick a yellow that you like. All right, we're going to have to lighten it up quite a bit. So let's keep adding a little bit of this white. I really want it to be gentle. And I want it to be a little peach. Just, oh, that feels like a lot of red because red goes a long ways. But I don't want to ruin it. So we're just going to do a little bit of it right there. Let me see so I can do it so that you can see it right there. Okay. All right, we've got a little bit of peach going on here, right in this pile. And I want to lighten this quite a bit. Let's go ahead and do it. And we'll have to blend a lot more. I think we just made enough forever. Like, seriously, look at this pile. No, I was going to say, did I already get paint on my hand already? All right, you guys. So let's go ahead, go back to that brush. We'll wipe it off. And let's get this wet one more time. And that's our gesso too. So we want it slick so that we can blend like they do with oil paints. It's our liquid white, the acrylic version. You just take your white and water it down a little bit. You don't need to buy anything. You just mix it yourself until it is the consistency of glue, like white glue that isn't dried. All right. Let me rinse that out for just a minute. And clean my palette knife. We've got to keep our tools clean the whole time, so I like to clean my palette knife off on just a roll of paper towel. I don't take a paper towel off the roll. I just wipe it on the whole thing. Okay, I just got a little drop of water there. We want to make sure and blend that in. Back to our middle. Are y'all ready? Let me get a little bit water. Now I may not show you my palette very often, only when we're mixing a color, because that gets difficult to hold that up. Now the idea is yellow and blue are not going to mix. That's going to make it green. So we're going to have to surround this with a barrier color. And I feel like we'll just start right here and we'll mix it out and let it blend. But we do not want to get up in here where we are going to have a lot of blue. So we're just going to feather, and that means as light as a feather with our brush. We're going to fade that out for now. We're going to come back. We're going to make it very colorful. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and we're going to get into this orange now. And we're going to pick up some of that other color and make a little bit of a peach. All right, now I'm wiping my brush off a little bit there because I had so much of it. And we don't need to have a lot of it right now. Now we want to surround this entire yellow. So we're going to start out here. And we're just going to work our way around all of our yellow. And circle back around. And where you feel you need to add more, just go back in, get a little bit of color. Now I'm going a little bit stronger on the orange side, right in here. We just want a beautiful, almost like a rainbow of color, almost. Now we know we're going to blue up in here, so we need that barrier. We're going to go ahead. Orange and blue work really good. We're also going to be adding a little purple. But we don't want to take away from our beautiful center. We're actually going to be doing some glaze work to emphasize that yellow, but it's got to be a little bit drier before we do that. How's everybody doing? Aw, you bet it will be amazing. Thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing to me, truly. You're so supportive always. Is the music too loud? What you painting? A sky. We're going to make this sky glow. Ultimately, maybe a waterfall, but today we're only doing the sky. All right, we're going to get more into pretty much straight orange at this point. Start on a low level and work your way into that nice and slow. I feel like we could use a little bit more orange over here. We're being very careful not to ruin our middle that we want to stay light. So we're staying away from that. Okay, we've got a lot on our brush, so we're going to have to take it a little bit of ways out. And we could bring it in here. And then we'll work it back all the way back. And then I'm just feather brushing. Now we've got it less on our brush. We can come back to where we have it really heavy and just gently feather it in. And if you get too much on your brush, sometimes you just have to take a break. Rinse out your brush a little bit. Maybe pat it off on your paper towel. Sometimes I use my apron to just dust it and then come back in. Okay, I'm going to get a dry brush, maybe a fan brush here, just a dry paintbrush, starting in the center, and we're going to soften everything up. And we're not going to go back into the center. We're just going to keep working our way back out to soften what we have already. Oh, that's beautiful already. Okay, now I'm going to wet that because that little fan brush did get paint on it. And I'm going to keep it wet and just stick it in the holder, but it is rinsed out. My nose is itching just a minute. Now this is actually yellower than it's appearing, so you guys give me a second to adjust the camera so that you guys are getting the real color. Otherwise, when I say I'm painting yellow, you don't know that. Let's see, how do we get more yellow? It's not quite that saturated, so it's not the saturation. Is it the brightness? No. Maybe it's the camera. Let's try white balance. It's more like that. That's actually closer. Let's apply and save that camera setting. Okay, you guys, we're going to introduce a little bit of red. Are you ready? How's everybody doing? Hey, Cindy Clark. This is exciting. Your first time here. Awesome. Okay. Let's get a little bit of red in the picture. Now remember, red is powerful. And we're going to go into our orange. And now I'm going to add just a tiny bit of that Indian yellow there. Ooh, I got so much red. Let's add a little bit more. That's a very incredible color. It is like so reddish orange. All right, it's a huge change. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick where we want it. It's too dark. It's way too dark, y'all. We're gonna have to lighten it up a lot. Okay, we made a weird mauve pink. Let's try some more orange. I like the color. We just need it to be more on the redder side. Okay, let's try that. Now, when I do this, I don't want a hard edge, and so I'm trying my best to take it into places with a very light touch, and as I get further away, I'm allowing more pressure on the brush because I don't want to deliver my entire payload of color right up close to this area. Now we are going to come back and blend, but all right, we're going to go up here. We might even carry this into that lighter area there. Let me get a little bit of water on my brush. Just too dry. Get a little bit more paint. There we go. When it stops flowing, that's when you got to get more water. Loosen that up. And using heavy body paints, a lot of the times the paint is super thick. All right, let's go back to that fan brush. Make sure it's pretty dry. Okay. We're just rocking it back and forth and softly blending. I'm trying to stay on the inside where it's already blended, and I'm just working my way out here a little bit. Let's see here. I've got a new blending brush that is coming, but we don't have it today. So we'll just take this little dry brush and do little circles to blend. And that works wonderfuls. Wonderfuls. Okay, you guys. I've got a little bit going on that's looking scratchy here, so we're going to go ahead and deliver some paint there. And we're going to bring it in till we can blend it. I'm excited to add the other colors. This is going to be where our sun is, so we want to be careful that we don't get too much going on in this area. But since it's wet, we can blend that right back out. I think what we're going to do is we're going to, I like that this is darker on this side, this is lighter over here. I think we're going to get into a little bit of our purple. So we're going to take our dioxide purple, and I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to take a little bit of this dioxide purple, and I need to mute it down, so I'm going to grab a little bit of the burnt sienna, because I want to mute it a little bit. Okay, that turned out a brilliant brown. A little blue to it, and a little bit of red, so we get about the color we want. And now we need a lot of white so that we can get a color of the actual value. And we're just going to mix this in because I know I need to darken it and I want it to be more purple. And once I get this color the way we want it, we are going to apply that to the corners. It's almost too light, so we're going to dip back in to the dioxide purple. Let's see how that is absolutely beautiful. That's a good purple. I feel like that's a good purple. Now, let's go ahead, take it over here, and let's mix it with just a little bit of what was going on. So we have a transition color, which is going to be a mauve, probably. I'm adding the red and a little bit of that orange. Yeah, it's coming out mauve-y, right? Now, that'd be a lot to put on my canvas. So we'll go ahead. I got a brush sitting here. I'll rinse that out real quick. It has our orange on it. Then we're going to leave it wet so that the brush doesn't dry out. And then we'll get this one. Doesn't have to be that clean. It just needs to have most of that off, and it needs to not be sitting with a lot of water in the bristles, because that's going to screw us up. So we're going to start with our transition color here, and it's okay to get a little bit of that orange. And we got to transition this whole thing. So let's start over here and just paint it. Nice and easy. I'm just going in little circles. Okay. Now, we're going to take another brush, and we're going to get a little bit of our orange, just a little bit. I think there's something on this brush. Hold on. Wrong brush. This brush. I got to check it first. Okay. All right, it's good. It had something on it. I was like, that could ruin our painting. Taking a little bit of that orange, and right along the line, we are going to mix these two like so. And we're even going to add a little bit of this bluish purple right in here. Then go back to our mauve orange. And then rinse the brush and come back with the orange. Right in the same spot. Now we should be able to blend that a little bit easier. Hold on just a minute. I gotta get a clean brush. I want to check on chat, see how you guys are doing. Hey, Cindy Clark. How are you? I hope you're doing well. I may have already said hi. I've been so focused, y'all. I'm going back and forth, and I'm trying to bring my orange into this color. And I think we've done it. Sometimes you just gotta work it. We'll be going back over this with a different light yellow as well, so no worries. We'll just dry brush so that there isn't a real hard edge anywhere. There we go. Sometimes the paint just has to let go. Now we'll add in our dark while it's still wet. And I kind of would like it to go all the way across. All right, that feels a lot better. Maybe there's a little bit over here. I don't know, we'll probably change that. Okay, now over here, let's go ahead and get our darker color up here. And now I'm going to dip right into this yellow and a little bit of the orange and make like a, I don't know, gray color right through here. We're just going to work it back and forth. Okay, I'm rinsing my brush out. We're going to come back with that peachy color. So I'll grab that yellow and a little bit of orange. And may have a little bit of that purple still in my brush. But that's okay, because that's where we're headed anyway. Okay. Now all we need to do is blend that in. Let me wash this brush out really good because I don't want to carry any dark into this part. This will be so worth it when it's done, you guys. So we're going to feather this lightly, just to blend it ever so gently. In fact, I want my brush even drier to do it. There we go. And it is the sky, and the sky is never the same twice. And so it can look any way you would like. Okay, now let me just go around. We'll blend this in just a little bit more. Take out any hard brush strokes and all that good stuff. That doesn't look too bad. I do want to brighten this up. I shouldn't have put that there, but at the same time, that's going to work in our favor. So let's go ahead, grab our peach, grab a little bit of the orange and a little bit of the red. And this can be a different, area of cloud. All right, that's looking awesome. Now I think we'll come back and brighten up our center even more and blend it out. It's looking good. It's looking good. Let me see, where is my... Whoa, I just bumped the camera. I'm so sorry. Before we get into this middle here, let's just soften everything up a little bit. Now, I don't apply a great deal of pressure on this. I'm just like dusting it off in a sense, giving it a little room. And I feel like we should carry this down a ways too. I do. Let me put that brush right there. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Before we go into that lighter color, I think we're going to go ahead and carry that color because I would like it to go at least 3/4 of the way down the board, Weird but cool at the same time, Carla. I wish I could show y'all, but that's exactly the color of my clouds right now. That's wild. That is wild. All right, let's... I wish I could see it. That is awesome. We're going to make a really good red. It's almost orange. It may be more orange than... And I'm going to add the littlest bit of yellow. And then I almost feel like a touch of that dioxide purple. Ooh, that made a great color. Now let's come down here. This is an awesome color. Now, I'm going to paint it down below this part here. And then I'm going to feather it off real nice and gentle so that I don't even leave a hard edge down, even though you can't see it. But for when I come back to paint, I don't want a hard edge. So let's go ahead and get more of that beautiful color. And we'll take it down here. And I'm just going to feather it out down here. I don't plan on having that much like still water that would be reflecting of the sunset, because I'm thinking I would like a little bit like, I don't know, maybe a waterfall keeps coming to mind. Whatever that would look like. I think that could be really cool. All right, now we've got to get that mixed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a little bit of that yellow and just a little bit of the color we were using. We're going to come in here and just soften up the edge all the way up. Let me rinse my brush out real quick. Now I'm just going to grab the yellow itself with the tiniest bit of that orange for right in here. And we're going to lighten this up just a little bit. And I apply less and less pressure as I go. Whoops. Whoops. Well, that'll be a cloud. Maybe this one will be a part of a cloud. I'm going to get the dark back and just slowly soften all of this. I am not a fast painter, but I'm a good painter, and that's what counts. I don't think speed, I don't ever feel like we're in a race with our passions. We lose something when we hurry. Maybe a little bit of the magic disappears when we rush through our expressions in life. It's almost like the world's in a hurry. But we can't be. Because do you really want to get to the end that fast? I don't. I want to enjoy the ride. We'll soften it up here. Right now we're doing almost like a glaze, but it's creating a little bit of that fog. All right, now, it's time to get some actual yellow. Just yellow, and it's translucent. So we have to add just a littlest bit of white. Let's see what happens. And we can blend it with all this. And what we're going to do now is we're not just going to do that area. We're going to glaze this all the way out like the sun does and around. And wherever the sun wants to go. And this will tell us later where our highlights are. Now I'm going with straight yellow. And I'm just bringing it down slowly but surely all the way down. Maybe a little bit of water so that that works as a carrier. There we go. And it's okay if it looks like, what's this? I don't know. Well, that'll be hidden anyway. Okay. We're getting there, you guys. We're going to do one more set with the glazing. That'll give us that glow. Only this time, we're going to go this angle. And we're just pushing it out, whichever way we'd like. And it can even go up a littlest bit in the purple. We just want it to be so bright and so pretty. And then we can add some really, really amazing clouds. Told you I wanted our sky to glow. Okay. Let's soften this up down here a little bit. I'm just blending right now. Okay, you guys, we're ready for the next step. How's that look? It went out of focus because it's like so blended. I have to keep my finger or the paintbrush or something there to give it focus. Or it gets really, really blurry because the camera is like, you blended it perfectly. All right, you guys, how's that feel? Let's see how everybody is. I will tomorrow as dark to take picture unless I have on the phone. We'll look in a minute. Has a slight smell to it. What? Mama, I have a rose called Tequila Sunrise. It's orange, so pretty. Reminds me of this. Oh yeah, get me a picture of that. I would love to see that. That would be very, very cool. I could share that. All right, you guys, we need to let this dry a minute. So I'm going to leave this on your screen. And at the same time, I'll make sure your music is going. I'm also going to, I stopped it for a minute. I'm going to just take a real quick potty break and walk around, stretch my legs, let this dry. It's going to take about 3 minutes, but we do not want to work on this until it's dry. But as you can see, we've got a wonderful start. A wonderful start. I'm so excited. Now, if I were you, this is a good time, like I'm going to change your water. So make sure, I have a clipboard like this, and it's just a little plastic clipboard. I cover my palette, okay? So I just lay this right on top. But before I do that, I spritz my palette with a spray bottle. So if I'm walking around the studio, forgive me. So just real quick. Okay. And we'll leave that set. And I'll put that over there. And I'm going to go change my water. and I shall return shortly. I'm going to cover my gesso. Stunning, Mama. Thank you, Nikki UK. Thank you. We're going to come back and we're going to be adding the clouds. And the clouds are going to glow. This is going to be the most beautiful sky ever. And then we're dropping the actual trees down next time we paint, way down here, so that the sky will be your main, like, oh my gosh. I am thinking we may have a waterfall below down here, but we shall see. You just never know. All right, change your water, you guys. I've got music up for you. And I've got my phone with me so I can see you chatting. Thank you, thank you. I have to wait till tomorrow because, oh, okay. Yep. Your phone needs to charge. Looks like Tucson sunset after a hot day, says Smudger. Oh, I'm excited to see the pictures. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave you running, and I'll be right back. Enjoy the music and let this dry. And think about what it's going to look like with clouds. Do you guys see this almost iridescent yellow, pink halo? Like, there's something really cool going on in the sky so far. Welcome back, everybody. Are you ready to get started? So don't you love it? It's so exciting. I can't wait. We're going to start clouds now. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to paint our clouds, then we're going to come back and we're going to outline them with that golden halo. All right? Hey, Brooke. Good to see you. Welcome back, beautiful. Carla, welcome as a Moonie. Good to have you. You guys are always so supportive and generous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I went and changed all my water, washed out my brushes, and that being said, let me rinse out this one. I see I left one that I dry brushed with, and I don't want that to ruin my brush. So, I don't know, we'll see. I hope I didn't ruin it. I left it sit out there, abandoned it. Now, we need to use a smudgy brush. A smudgy brush. So if you have, like this is a number 5, but as you can see, it's a little tough. I want something that's soft and smudgy. So I'm just touching my brushes to see what ones, and we want delicate. We want delicate brush. That's a little tough. We want a smaller brush for our clouds. Ooh, this is the brush I'm thinking. So this is a number 6, and it's an Artify. That's our brush. That's our brush. What are we gonna do? Well, we've got yellow, and then we've got this mauve color. We've got orange. We've got all these colors all the way up to purple, and even a little blue in there. And so we're going to take and use our colors again, only for our clouds. We're going to use the color next to it on top of it for the cloud. In other words, we're going to go a slightly different tone or hue, or value, I guess is the word. A little darker than this, or it won't show up. And so with that being said, I'm just going to get myself a little color that I think will show up nicely there without being too, like, I don't want it to be too overwhelming. And we're going to start, well, actually, I want to put my sun in first. What do I want to use for the sun? This could do it. Let me see. I need it flat. Hold on, y'all. I'm looking for a specific brush. And if I don't see it, I may have... Okay, we're going to have to open up the case. I want a little... say about like this. Let me see if this would work. This is a brand new brush I've never used. I don't know. So we want to take our sun and we're just going to twist it. That feels awful big. Okay, let's dig deeper. We've got smallers. That might work. All right, I don't like a white sun, so I'm going to make a golden sun, but bright. I want it to be so bright that it's overwhelming. Okay. Wherever we stick it, that's where our sun is. And to me, I don't like the sun to be in the center, so I'm not sure I want it to be all available, but we're going to do it. We're just going to make a little twist right here. It's a little bigger than I wanted, but it'll work. Okay, there's our sun. Now, once that is dry, we can come back and build out from that more light. But in the meantime, I don't like hard edges, so we're going to take this little brush. Whoa, I'm glad I checked it. It had paint in it. I just forgot. I want this little brush, but I need it dry for what we're going to do. I'm just going to, there it is. Now I've got paint on my finger. I don't want the edges to be perfectly hard. So, and it doesn't have to be exactly round either. I just am fuzzing up the edge a little bit because if you've ever looked at the sun, it is not easy to see it. It has little edges that are like illuminating from it. I'm being ever so careful to keep the same shape, but just expand it a little bit. All right, that feels better. It's not so much like that stamped out sun. I don't like that. Now it's almost to the point that we can work with it, but we're going to leave it alone for now. Now we're going to get into our other colors. So hopefully this is a little bit darker. And if it's not, we can darken it. I just want the hint of clouds. We're going to start down here. And we just want clouds. So I'm just touching and making little clouds. And they don't have to be any shape. You can make your cloud whatever shape you would like. I just want a suggestion of clouds up here. Maybe there's one up here that kind of dances off into the purplish color. So we'll leave that one. Maybe it trails off a little bit down in here. We just want to give the illusion, the suggestion of clouds. We're going to come back and work with the clouds, so we don't need to worry. You don't need to fill in like if there's a hole that can play into it. So let's see, we won't be able to use this color much longer because it'll disappear. And we want it to get darker as we go. So we might as well just go ahead, add a little bit more of a value. So I'm going to add a little bit of red to this as we come out this way and this way and this way. We'll start over here. And right here, it feels like there is a little cloud already here. So I'm going to curl the edges just a little bit, maybe drag this out, just whatever. Like legitimately, just drop it in. Don't give it a lot of thought because it really, really doesn't matter. Should we have one go just slightly over? Okay. Then we have to grab a little bit here, like so. This has got a little lighter value, so we won't take it back real far. If we want to change the value, we can darken it and continue the cloud. But if we take this really light into that dark, it's going to get kind of weird. So down in here, maybe there's some other little doohickers that are like wanting their day in the sun. We've lost our music, haven't we? All right, so we got a cloud there. How's everybody doing? Let me check on chat. Good to see you, Brooke. Good to see you. I think I finally got the whole window check for both channels. Awesome. Thank you, Brooke. Yeah, we want you to find us. Love and hugs to everyone from PA. Wow, Pennsylvania. We got UK here, got Pennsylvania. Where's Carla from? I didn't get to see where Carla was from. I forget. I send her tons of little packages. I should remember. All right, so now we're going to take that same darker value. I'm even going to add just a hint of the red again. And we're going to make this cloud. Maybe it starts over here and it comes down here and it dances all over the place. I'm just softening it up a little bit by going back over it. But this is a great brush because, you know, it just flicks and does its thing. So it makes some really cool clouds for sure. Okay. So we've got, you know, some clouds coming in here. I feel like we need to start bringing in some darker clouds, but they may not be as dark up in this part. So we'll just make, and because it's starting to, my brush doesn't have as much, it's making it almost like translucent there. I like that. Let's do something up in here. Let's just whatever, and we'll come back and darken it if we feel the need to. Bring it back this way. Maybe you can't tell where that cloud stops, right? It just goes. It like does it it just kind of goes off the canvas, like dances away. All right, let's start darkening up our value, which means we're going to go back into this mauve color. Let me start us some music. Okay. Now, where we know we need a darker value, we're going to work into and I'm just thinking of each cloud. I'm not thinking of what I'm going to do to the next cloud, or I'm not even really thinking. I'm just enjoying the flow of the color. Now we'll go back into a little bit of that red. We'll start back in here. And we'll lead up to this other color. I'm going to rinse out the brush a little bit. And we're going to get back into, I'm going to grab a little bit of that like almost peach that we were working with, and a little bit of orange. I'm even taking some of that Indian yellow. And we're going to just put some like doohickeys. And then we'll come back and blend it in. And I'm just blending. I didn't even really have paint on my brush. Just making the colors all kind of congeal together. Let's go back in and get a little bit of that bluish purple. And work our way back in. And then that leaves that really nice dark corner there. I like the way that that went. Now let's keep going. We're going to take what we already have on our brush. And I don't want to do a lot to this little cloud. I just want it to kind of fade into whatever. So that one works. And again, same here. Just whatever's left on our brush, just grab it and kind of haze it away. I don't want to draw too much attention to this up here. We're just softening things. We'll even do that again here. We'll come back and do a little bit more up in there. All right, this one here has still got a lot of light back in here, so we're going to try to keep that more on the redder side, but just a hint of purple we're going to come back and add in. So we're going to start with our, oh, that's too dark, so let's lighten it up. Got to keep your value just right. Okay, let's see how this is. Yeah. Don't need it harsh. We're going to have a lot of dark color right in here. So we're just starting the middle of this cloud. So we'll be working our way into the lighter part. And you can just dance your little brush any way you'd like. Maybe you're following your own music, your own song. And right here, we're just going to let it trail. Now, we're going to soften that up real quick by using just any dry brush that we want and doing little circles. And I'm applying quite a bit of pressure there. Whoop. There we go. And I'm going to come back in with a little bit more of that red, but I'm going to add just a touch of that lavender. We're going to start back in here. And we're not going to go all the way to the end of the cloud. We want those other colors to be seen, so we're just, as it gets darker over here, we're adjusting that cloud's value because that'll give you a lot of depth. We're going to leave this red down here. So we'll go ahead, carry it all the way out to wherever we want it to be. Maybe it just kind of fades off the board. But now up in here, I want to get a little bit of like the real purple, but I don't want to lose that light. So we're going with the darker of the purple now. We're going to leave that red on the bottom, or that reddish color. And we're going to start working this color gently forward into the cloud. About something like that. Now I'm just gently, gently dry brushing over it. Look, Mama, it looks just wow. Aw, Nikki, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. I do want a little bit of the darker color up in here. Now that it's dried, it's not as dark as I'd like, so we're going to make this one really kind of like be like wow, but I don't want to lose the separation, so we're going to leave that there. feel like there might be one that's just rogue, and he just comes down like this. And he's like, hey, I'll do what I want. And then he'll disappear right up in there somewhere. Where have you? All right, now as you notice, we've put this cloud here. It's also formed, in a sense, another cloud, right? That's separate. So we want to work on this guy, I think, next. I think we'll work on this. But we're also leaving a little bit of that purple out. As we come down, there won't be as much. What we can do is we have very little purple. So we're basically just dry brushing, and we can just add it in, whatever's left. And I mean, there's hardly anything on the brush. We're just darkening this as if we're putting a fog of darker color back there. Didn't even really do much. You could do it pretty much anywhere. The brush is dry. Give it up, the brush is dry. Okay, let's get on to this one. Now this one, we're gonna darken it up. I kind of like that deep mauve color. So I'm gonna grab my red, a little bit of orange, a hint of purple. Okay, maybe a little bit more red. Hold on, y'all. I don't know if this is gonna be dark enough, but I don't want to go too dark, right? We'll start way back here where it'd be the darkest. Oh, it's great. It's great. It's the color. Maybe it comes up here and doesn't quite make it out in there, but just a little. Maybe it dances back in here and it gets more, we'll have a little bit more darker color back in here. We're only working on this cloud. I'm not worried about the rest. They are what they are. Let's go ahead and let's carry this. I'm going to lighten that with a little bit of yellow, a little bit of orange. That way we can just kind of back it off a little bit. Maybe this cloud cuts up in here, you know, where you see that light sneak through the break, and then it breaks off this way. You have to think of how the cloud works. Just feel it. Now this is the furthest away from the light. So we're going to darken that up a little bit with a little bit of red and just a touch of purple. Oh, I didn't get enough purple. Oh, I may have too much. May have too much. But we're doing it anyway. We'll make it happen. I just want this to show a little silhouette of a shadow in that cloud. Then we'll just carry it up here. Make it be a little bit of a whatever. Now, as we're building this cloud, we're also building that cloud, right? So we're kind of doing two things at once. Now you see why I said we're only painting the sky today. Because I am slow. Because I won't hurry. And we'll probably only have time for that. I'm hoping this is a little darker value. Let's get a little bit more of that purple. My goal is to make this look rich and dark in here. That's the color I want. Right in here. I want it to feel almost like it could have stormed, but it's not going to. Yes, I like it. That looks good. Let's bring it up in here, like dance it up in a little bit. Not a lot. Just have it dance a little bit. All right, let's take that same color and let's darken this up a little bit with that same, like, richness of the cloud. We'll take it right into the dark. I feel like that needs to be a lot darker, but we'll come back to that. What we have on our brush is great for this light color right in here. I'm just scrubbing it in. Now, as we get down here, hold on. I gotta get the perfect color I want. Yes. I'm just kind of scrubbing it in. Not really caring about much. That's a lot of paint. It's just scrubbing something in. So it just disappears. Smudger says, absolutely beautiful, Mama. Reminds me of the skies in the UK heat wave of 1976. Oh, wow. And gone, AB, some soon again. I think Allison, I missed something. So we're just going to leave this part just kind of trail off because there's going to be a lot of happening over here. That's where some of the trees will be and so forth. So we'll just let that be there. And I'm just softening it up, scrubbing it in. Getting that paint pressed into the palette. It also blends, which I kind of want this to trail off, like way down in here. As if it just, you don't know what happened to the cloud, you know? Okay, now we have lighter on this side, and I'm going to leave that lighter. I'm pretty happy with what we have. I feel like there could be one little, we'll give it one little one right in here, the base. Right about here. So for that, we think, let's go pretty deep. It would still have some purple showing. Let's see what happens here. Ooh, that's a little bit much, huh? Let's get some orange in that. Maybe a little bit more orange. Okay. Ooh, it's got a golden look. Okay, this cloud is its own little golden story. Maybe this cloud is the golden ticket. Maybe he comes up into this one. Maybe he's all one cloud. And he's just going to go down here. Now I'm really scrubbing. See that brush? I just want it to go away, do its thing. Okay, you guys. Now, it's very humid here. No breeze whatsoever. Ugh. Got that part done the way we want. Now, we're going to go back with what's a glaze. It's going to be very light. And it's just going to be a little bit of the yellow. And it won't be all over the board. But now that we've got that middle we're going to glaze over the outside edge, okay, of the sun, all the way around it. Use your finger if you need to. Just want to. Now hold on, we've got way too much on our brush, so we're going to dry out our brush where we have just a little bit on the brush, and we're going to scrub it in right on the edges of all of this. Because that's what the sun would do, right? Yeah, that looks cool. Now the sun looks so, oh, I put a little bit of the what you call it over it. A little bit of the pink. We're just bringing that light out across everything. Maybe even a few little brushes as if the light is just shining across stuff. And it doesn't have to be in every direction. Maybe it doesn't shine much in that way. Maybe it does. If you get too much, just wipe it back. I would like just a little bit coming this way. How's that, you guys? You like it? Okay, this has to dry a few minutes, and then we're going to come back in, and what we're going to do is now we're going to trace around, not trace, but outline all of our clouds. I'll give you an idea on an area that is dry, or at least it's close to dry, which is going to set this off. So let me find a little brush that I'm going to be using. See if this is the one I like. All right, this one should be perfect. It's a very, very tiny, okay? Wipe off if you have any water. And let's go ahead and outline that sun just a little bit more. Give it back a little bit of its strength. Okay, it's definitely a wet board, so I'm gonna have to like let it dry just the littlest amount of time so that it's not, you know, wet. Something like that looks a lot better to me. There we go. Now, for an example, I'm going to trace You feel me? Maybe this one goes. just a little bit. So once this dries, like it's too damp, I shouldn't be touching it right now. But it's so fun and irresistible. So we get back here, we want to make it thinner and almost non-existent. You can even come inside the cloud and create levels like that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it alone a minute. We're gonna make sure you got plenty of music. I'll walk about. I'm gonna walk away from the painting so I don't ruin it by doing it too soon. But you get the feel of where we're headed. Babs Red. Hey, thinking of you, lovely. Good to see you. Absolutely love the painting, Mama. It's very relaxing watching you paint. Well, thank you. All right, you guys, I shall be back in a moment when this dries. Give me about 3 minutes. And we'll go ahead and start your music over just so it doesn't run out because it was at the last few seconds. I am going to change the lighting in this room because I do have natural daylight right now, but it's also casting such a glare and you're not getting the full picture. Now, this would be a great time for you to start thinking about which clouds, if all of them or some of them, what parts are you going to highlight? All right. All right, you guys. Are you ready? We've got our paintbrush ready to go. I'm going to pull up a chair because this could get tedious. But the goal is to start going over all the areas, and then we'll come back and highlight them a little bit as well. So we want that really, really light yellow. It's almost white. It's almost white. Actually, I'm going to do it standing up because I can see better. And you can even make believe some of the shapes. Like that wasn't the shape. It actually goes down here. Whereas I wanted it to appear as though it was almost like the cloud was translucent, right? Maybe we have a cloud down here. Goes about like that. Maybe this comes in like that. Something about like that. Just have it fade off. Okay, let's catch the undersides. And it doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to finish every line. You can just imagine where you think the clouds are if you want. But it doesn't need to make sense. You just remember, it's like the clouds themselves. They don't make sense. They just tell their story. I hope everybody's doing good. Welcome back, Nikki. Okay, let's work on this cloud right here. Definitely would have maybe a little bit more on the brush. We'll go underneath it too. Maybe it goes about like that. Who knows? Okay. All right, I think we need to work on this cloud, but maybe there's some layered little clouds. All right, this cloud is our next one. How's everybody feeling? You are sweating. Allison's horrible. Oh, I'm so sorry, Nikki, that it's hot by you. Now, I do usually anchor my pinky somewhere on the canvas when I'm trying to do this, so I don't free float this. A lot of little pretending you know what you are doing and just basically going wherever your little heart desires. Just travel. Don't stay in one place. Don't overthink it. Because it really is going to turn out just absolutely beautiful as long as you keep moving. Okay, we're going to start over here, find a place that we want to make it look like there's a break in the cloud. I think we're going to touch these up a little bit. Okay, there could be a little bit of like a little break in that one, you know? Maybe that break gets more pronounced back here. Now that came out a little bit lighter than I want, so I took all the paint out of my brush. And I'm just gonna soften that area a little bit. Okay. We're gonna tackle this little guy. Get a little heavy-handed, just make sure and go back and give a little swipe with your finger, it'll soften it up. We'll fade that off a little bit there. We're going back over some areas. All right, we've traced a lot of the clouds, but there's some that need some more detail to them. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over. Right in here, I know that this is going to be a place that I will be able to see when the painting is finished. So I'm going to go ahead and reinforce that this is light here on the edge of this. Maybe it just trails off. Whoops. Okay. We got a little smudge there. I'm just going to take a little bit of my red paint and maybe a little bit of the orange. And just smear it in there. Nobody'll know because we painting. Nobody'll know. Who's gonna know? All right, let me wash out the brush and get back into our wonderful fun little, so we're gonna go ahead and lighten this up a little bit. And I am making it a little thicker in a little bit of the areas where I want that light to almost feel like it's glowing. I'm going to soften it up right through here. We will be coming back most likely with a little bit of that detail work as we go. So this one I really like the way it is. The only thing is I would like this to be a little bit lighter. Up in here, up in here. Yeah, that feels better because it's so close to the sun. Let's go ahead and define it a little bit better though. About like that. I feel like I overdid that color there a little bit, so I'm going to back it off, but I'm going to mix up my color that I had, very close to it anyway. It might be a little darker. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back this off a tiny bit. Then we'll blend that in. Because I just feel like I got a little carried away with my highlight. It's easy to do. There. Much better. Much better. Okay. Let's get back in. I got to make up a little bit more of that very light yellow. Okay, I got it. How's everybody doing? You guys are so beautiful. Mama, this is stunning. Thank you, Nikki Smudger. I do worry about the animals too, right? Ice water in the garden, that's a great idea. Monty is always bringing home his kitty friends. That's awesome. You do have, like Nikki says, you have a beautiful heart. Smudger says, Mama, I'm sure those clouds are moving across the sun. You have water out for the little squirrels. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. I gotta add a little bit more water to it so that it flows easier. Okay, this guy got left behind a little bit. We're gonna take him up. Okay, here we go, y'all. See, that got a little bit too much, so we gotta move it. Make it a blur, a flash of light. Hold on a minute. This brush, I need more water in that. It's just not the way I like it. Okay, now we got it going on. Let's see, we'll hit this a little bit. As if it may be here. We can kind of hit it here and there. And every once in a while, you guys skip a spot or apply more pressure. Get jiggy with it. Don't do straight lines. I'm actually almost zigzagging my brush as I do it because the clouds are not straight in life. Hate to tell you, they just not. All right, you guys, this is coming along nice. We're getting there. Hold on just a minute, you guys. I'm going to mute. My son's calling. All right, I'm back. He didn't know I was live. He's like, oh, you're live? I'll call back later. I'm like, I won't be that much longer. All right, you guys. What do you think of our sky? I think it came out pretty good. Let me take a look at it. Maybe we'll just go with a couple shots of the white in just 2 or 3 places, because white is something I use very sparing. It's the cherry on the top. So let's go ahead and get our white on the board. Final step here. And I'm only picking the places that would really be hit with some serious sunlight. Okay, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me see how everybody's doing. I might add just a littlest bit down here. Kind of about like that. Just let it fade out, because we're going to now, after that, we'll be bringing trees up like this. Now we're going to take a little bit of that golden yellow as our final step, and anywhere where we've got just a little too much, we can use this golden yellow to just back it off the tiniest bit and also glaze that highlight onto that cloud. So I'm using my Indian yellow, straight Indian yellow, and this also is a it's translucent, so you can paint it over other areas. And it blends really, really good. And that's just straight Indian yellow. And it's also allowing me to transfer that highlight where the sun is really glowing. We'll just bring it down in here. I'm just kind of walking my way around the sun. I'm not doing way back in here because we only want where the sun's actually reaching. Well, we could go down in here a little bit to make it look like it's, you know, a little light transferring there. Now up in here, we'll do just the littlest bit. Actually had a little too much on my brush. And we'll just gently bring it back and highlight the beginning of this other cloud right here. And maybe the bottom. And right in here too. We would have a little light. Maybe a little bit, not much, because this is really dark, but right back in there. I'll make it disappear there. Maybe we'll warm up the bottom part of the sun a little bit, so it's not so bright. Okay. Now you see that was called glazing. And basically I did everything here in the middle. It softened it up, and I'm going to paint him a little bit more white. Just a hint of that yellow. Just a little bit. I'll blend it with whatever's there. There. That feels like a sun to me. Whoa. Well, that actually looks pretty cool like that, because sometimes the sun is so bright that it has little doohickeys off of it. All right, my lovelies, the music has stopped. It's that time of the day. That's a really light area there, so let's get a little bit more. I could keep painting forever, but I would like you to come back and join me when our next step is. So let me lower this. we've got the sky done. We're going to lower this, and that way you can see it. I'm undoing the things. As you can see, this is our sky. And I love it. I think it's wonderful. But look how much of our canvas we have left. So I want to do a waterfall. I want to have trees on either side like this, right? And down through here, so the trees would be like this, and then we'll have a waterfall. So tomorrow I have my other channel, 1111 True Crime, and I'm going to be covering the Nancy Guthrie case. We're going to be talking about missing time, TikTok, and OMG. When I show you what we have found out, when you start adding it all up, it's going to leave you speechless. So OMG, for real. Now, after that, that'll be tomorrow, so that's Sunday. I'd like to come back and paint with you on Monday. And we will just start working in on the trees. We won't be working much on the waterfall, just we're going to be blocking in, but we're also going to be painting these trees, which are going to be so much fun. Look, think about this. Like if my fingers were the trees, maybe not that high. Maybe the trees will be that high. And then we have that waterfall right down through the middle. It's going to be wonderful. So thank you again so very much for joining me and painting live. I hope that you'll come back on Monday, same time, 3 o'clock, and we'll paint again. I don't have a closer, so I'll just put the painting back into place. Let's see, we can put it like this so you can see it for just a minute. Let me close this so you can see what the colors look like. Rich, colorful, and thank you so very much, Nick. Hey, Bluegrass Gal, good to see you. You love it? Thank you. Nikki says it looks amazing. I love it. Thank you. Smudger says, breathtaking, Mama. Love. We'll be watching again for sure. That'll be Monday, you guys. Bluegrass says, you're so talented, Mama D. Well, thank you, lovely. Yes, very relaxing, seeing it from a blank canvas to a stunning sunset. Oh, it's just going to get so much funner as we go. All right, Smudger, you're amazing. Nikki, you are too. I appreciate you, Bluegrass, dropping in. And Carla, thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else did we have? We had a lot of people with us today, actually, for this little brand new channel. I figured what we'll do is we'll paint live the different parts, and that way if somebody wants to try to paint, they can paint with me. Hey, Sleuth Fairy, thank you. Says, love it, gorgeous. Thank you. And thank you again, Babs Red, for stopping in, and welcome, Brooke. I appreciate you for stopping in. And I think that was, I tried to cover everybody. All right, my lovelies. I'll hit the music and give you about a minute to just trail out here, and then it'll fade away. Love you guys. Hit that like and subscribe. You can become a Moonie for 99 cents a month. That just supports the channel. I will be doing a teaching class on painting. That'll come out in the near future, and I'm going to put a different tier for that, so those that want to participate, they can. But that'll be in the future. All right, my lovelies, I appreciate you. See you again soon.